Hi guys, how are you? My name is Mombi Maura. Welcome to this channel. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and help our channel to grow. And for the people who have already subscribed, I'm so grateful. Kindly keep watching the more videos we are creating. Like, comment and share. Okay, today I want us to talk about smoky kachumbari, sausages, mayai. Guys, wale wenye tunapenda kula smoky kwa barabara, we meet these guys. They are selling smoky sausages na mayai and some other maybe other times kwa trolley in towns, in cities, and how we just sit, we just buy those things and eat them. They are so sweet, but have you ever wondered how much they make? Maybe you are jobless, and let me give you a hint. I've also done this business, and I promise you, I can assure you that it's so profitable. I remember we used to buy, let's say you buy a tray of 300 Kenyan shillings. It has 10 eggs. It has 30 eggs. So that means that I used to buy one egg 10 Kenyan shillings. Then I boil them. After boiling them, I buy nyanya and then some tomatoes worth 20 Kenyan shillings, and then a kitungu for 5 bob and make a kachumbari. Then I used to get a pilipili for 1 bob for the people who love pilipili. So then after, okay, you need sausages and tomato sauce. Not sausages, tomato sauce and chili sauce for the people who need them. And then ukiuza, so unauza 20 bob. So that means that for every egg that you're selling, you're making a 10 Kenyan shillings. Then don't forget that you're going to sell like 2 trays or 3 trays, depending on the day, depending on if there's a function nearby. So in a day, if I sell like 2 trays, I'm going to make 600 Kenyan shillings. Then with this 600 Kenyan shillings, I used to deduct maybe, let's say, kachumbari, tomato sauce, you're just going to use a little of it, and chili sauce. So for the tomato sauce, let's say like a 10 bob, and then for the kachumbari things, 20 bob or 30 bob. So for your 600 Kenyan shillings, you're just going to deduct like 20 bob or 50 bob, depending on the day. So that's is it for the eggs. Well, you said the eggs for maybe more than 3 trays used to make like 1k, but that mostly is on weekends. From Monday to Friday, mostly used to sell like 1 tray or 2 trays. And then don't forget, you have to boil them, and boiling them you need charcoal. Okay, akasoko used to go for 2 days, so that means that you need just a half kasuku to boil your eggs in a day. Yeah, so you can see it's not a bad business. And then you're not only selling the mayais, you also have smokies and sausages. Let me start with the sausages. For the sausages, I remember we used to make selling one sausage used to make 10 Kenyan shillings. How was this? Okay, for one packet, we used to buy 200 Kenyan shillings, or maybe half of it, which is 100 Kenyan shillings. And selling these sausages, you used to sell it at each sausage is 20 bob. So you see that profit is double the price. So you buy it at 10 bob, then you sell it at 20 bob. It's just like the mayais. And then so you can see how profitable it was. But also there are challenges. During maybe from Monday to Friday, you used to sell like one packet, which is almost, let's say, 200 Kenyan shillings a day. But at times zilikuwa zinabaki with the leftovers. The best thing with these things is that when you have leftovers, you're going to start with them the next day, so you don't need to throw them away like the people who are selling maybe like rice or other things in hotels. So for us, we used to recycle them. You just warm them and then you sell them to your customers, and they used to love it. Actually, even today, if you sell to me a smoky, I would love the lala one, the one which was cooked yesterday. It's much sweeter, it's much better than the one which was cooked today. I'm going to sell a lot on weekends. Two packets worth 400 Kenyan shillings, or one and a half worth 300 Kenyan shillings per day, don't forget. And then for weekdays, Monday to Friday or Monday to Thursday, you can sell and make one packet, make a profit of 200 Kenyan shillings. But you're just going to, for this one, you're just going to deduct the kachumbari cost, yeah, and tomato sauce and chilies. So remember that you're going to sell a lot on weekends. Two packets worth 400 Kenyan shillings, or one and a half worth 300 Kenyan shillings per day, don't forget. And then for weekdays, Monday to Friday or Monday to Thursday, you can sell and make one packet, make a profit of 200 Kenyan shillings. But you're just going to, for this one, you're just going to deduct the kachumbari cost, yeah, and tomato sauce and chili sauce. And then don't forget, let me tell you, for the smokies and sausages, you don't need to cook them. Where you buy them, they have everything ready. You just go there and cook the ones you need to sell, and then after selling them, you come back, you cook others. So it's not as hard as people might think about it. If you don't know how to cook, they cook it for you, and it's free. At the end of the day, you are promoting their business, and there are so many. So that's an advantage to them also, not only to you. Yeah, so you can see how much, let's say you sold that day, you sold two trays of um my eyes, and then one tray for the smokies. You already have almost, more than 1,000 Kenyan shillings. So let's see how it is for the smokies. For the smokies, we used to make a profit of 13 Kenyan shillings. We used to buy it at, I think, 250. So when you divide the amount, you used to see that you're buying them at 12 point something Kenyan shillings. Then you sell them at 25 Kenyan shillings. So that means you used to make more per sausage, per smoky, as compared to the sausages and the mayais. Because while you sell one, you already have your 13 bob. When you sell two, and then the a pack is, I think, 200 or something. So, but the another challenge is that for the smokies is that when people wanaona this 5 Kenyan shillings too much, so they used to go for nipe your 20 bob, wachana ya 25. But there are those who knows the difference between the smokies and sausages. They used to tell me, I only need a smoky. So for me, for the smokies, I used to sell more than half, or sometimes a half, or just around a half package. And then I used to make more than 100, or almost around 200 Kenyan shillings a day, but mostly 150 around there for the smokies. Then the balance, I used to sell them the next day. But most I used to take, for the weekdays, I used to take half a pack, because you can't take all these things. And then what if you didn't sell that day, or you don't sell as you expected? Who is going to eat them? I was just alone. It was just me. So you can imagine having all those things. But at the end of the day, we used to resell these things the following day. Sometimes they can go up to 3 days, if you know how to keep them, to preserve them well after just a busy day. Yeah, so you can imagine. So I think now you understand how profitable that business is. You sell your smokies, you sell your sausages, and you sell your mayais. I'm sure you can't go with less than 500 Kenyan shillings. Actually, for the people who used to sell in town, they used to sell like 3 packets. And don't forget, these people on a report job at around 5-4 p.m. And then sometimes others used to report at 6 p.m. because that's when the kanjo allows them to sell. And then they used to sell like 2 packs, and you've been selling the whole day, and they used to ask them, how are you guys doing this? But if they are selling at a certain spot, you can't just go and join them, because that's the area. And then yeah, kuna protocols. Yeah, so that means how, like I remember one person used to tell me, mimi nikitoa job ya 20k I can't go, and I'm telling you, up to date he sells those smokies around. I mean, he still sells around Nakuru PGH, and the business is doing well for him, and he's doing well, he's educating his children, and yeah, ni maisha tu. So, but I know some people are asking, you're just telling us about the advantages, the profits, and how did you leave that work? Okay, for me, I used to sell, it was not just about my smoky and sausages. It was, let me say, I used to sell gas, nimeka gas nje. Inside I'm cooking chipos, and then I have my smokies and sausages and the maize. So you can imagine it's like a kamabati thing, but I used to sell for takeaway. Then there are kanjos. I'm telling you, it was a tough business. At first they told me that I can't cook, and then I have gas outside. I'm going to Lipua, the town. So I had to choose between the gas and the smokies and sausages and maize and my chips business. At the end of the day, gas were not making more profit than this one, so I had to let go of the gas cylinders and those things, and now concentrate on the chips business, smokies and mice and the sausages. Yeah, I sold, but still makanjos. Sometimes I need health barua ya health. Sometimes I need sijui the licenses. Sometimes they don't accept the license you are taking. They need you to take the ile the license ile kubwa ya ania. But I used to see my business as a mkulima mdogo, so ile kibanda. So why are they, why were they asking me to pay for the license worth 6k, or I can't remember. So for me that was challenging, and then I knew I was in that place for just a short time before I get a job. So nilikuwa na ile mindset like I'm just here for like few months instead of being jobless. Then after some time I'm going to get another job, because I used to get employed. That I started the business with the little money I had saved from where I was working from. So that was it, and I was just encouraging. It was not about showing you. I can't show off with such little money, because I know people are making a lot. Like I've told you, there are those people who used to sell a lot in town. Up to date, I know one guy who sells like more than 2 packets for sausages and more than 1 packet for smokies a day. So you can imagine. And then I've not even mentioned the maize, the number of trays he used to sell. So you can imagine how much that person is making. And then he used to sleep up to 4 p.m. He's at work up to 9-10 p.m. Yeah, but during Corona time, they were affected. I'm sorry for them, but I'm sure they looked for something else to do. I've not seen them. I just hope umesoma kitu. If you're jobless, please try this one out. I can tell you that you're not going to regret at any time. Yeah, and you're going to survive. Let me tell you, even the day I made the lowest amount, I opened my shop at I think 2 p.m. and I had a profit of 150 Kenyan shillings. But you see, for me, I used to pay rent in that kabanda. I think it was 3k. Then I have rent for where I was living. Kuna some costs, but at the end of the day, the business was doing well. I was in a circle. I used to pay and all those things. Yeah, it's a good business. Try selling smoky sausages and maize, and the don't forget capital less than 1,000 Kenyan shillings. Yeah, it's as cheap as that. For if you need a trolley, you can rent one, but there is two. That's another business I'm going to talk about in another video. I used to have, so after staying in the business, I learned that most people don't have the trolleys, those who sell those items. So what do? They rent them from the people who own them, 100 Kenyan shillings a day. So I made mine. Yeah, nilijengesha. I think they were 6, but I sold one, so I remained with 5. And I used to collect my 100 Kenyan shillings a day. Although it was challenging, because sometimes they would write to you, I didn't report, I didn't what. So it was challenging. And then don't forget, I was doing the business, I didn't know them. Yeah, so that's as a person who is starting this business, you can decide to rent out. You can rent instead of buying one, because buying one, I think it's around 5k. If you don't have the 5k, just borrow, just rent one. It's just 100k, 100 bob, or maybe 50 bob, depending on the one. So guys, I hope we've learned something. Kindly, let's try this out if you are jobless. Yeah, it's one of the businesses that you should consider. Ukisikia Charlene Roto mentioning about Smoky Kachumbari, see it as a business opportunity, see it as an education to us that we can try it out. Yeah, it's competitive, but at the end of the day, you're going to make your own profits. Yeah. So kindly, bye bye. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to comment and share. Bye.